Electric arc furnace. It is a versatile furnace used to melt mainly steel. It makes use of electric current to generate the arc in the metal. The arc heats and melts the charge. The melting using electricity as a source of energy is more common. This is because electric furnace provides more flexibility and cleanliness in operation. These are suitable for production of high quality steels. There are two types of electric arc furnaces, direct arc furnace and indirect arc furnace. Direct arc furnace. It consists of a steel shell, cylindrical in shape with a spherical or flat base, which is mounted on rolls to enable tilting the furnace to tap out the molten metal. The shell is lined within the bricks. The roof is made up of silica bricks. The hearth is lined with basic materials such as magnesite bricks. The charging may be done either from the top or from the side. In top charging type, the roof can be swung along with electrodes, while in side charging type, a side door is provided, a tapping hole with sprout is provided to tap out the molten metal. Generally, three electrodes are arranged in a triangular pattern. These electrodes can raise or lower the mechanical or other automatic means, lowered by mechanical or other automatic means. This helps in setting the arc and to maintain the desired temperature. The electric current, three-phase current, is led into the furnace through three carbon or graphite electrodes. The arc is struck between the electrode and charge. The arc given out high temperature gives out high temperature of the order of 2000 to 5000 degrees centigrade, which melts the charge below the electrodes. Gradually, a pool of molten metal forms below the electrodes, which in turn melts the remaining metal in the furnace. So the sketch of the furnace is shown, and the furnace is labeled three phase power supply and three electrodes. You can see easily the magnesite brick inside the lid is inside it is lined, and magnesite brick at the bottom is also lined inside. The electrodes should have high electrical and low thermal conductivity, good refractoriness and resistance to oxidation or chemical reaction. Also should have good strength at high temperature. Usually graphite or amorphous carbon is used as electrode material. Then excess slag is removed from the slag door. The molten metal is then tapped into the ladle and taken for treating. Indirect arc furnace. So the figure shows the indirect arc furnace used for melting small quantity of ferrous and non-ferrous metals. The furnace consists of a cylindrical or barrel-shaped shell lined with a refractory material. The shell is mounted on rollers and can be tilted through 180 degree centigrade. This facilitates for the ease of pouring. Also, the rollers provide rocking action to the furnace that speeds up the melting rate. Yes, the sketch of the indirect arc furnace is shown here. You can see it's easily steel shell, refractory lining inside. So cut section of say shown, Trunion power lid, carbon electrodes. So rollers on either side, indirect arc furnace. The two carbon electrodes are mounted along the horizontal axis and can be automatically adjusted for maintaining the proper arc column. A charging door and pouring spout serves the purpose. Working. The ingot steel scrap and alloy metals and fluxing agents are charged into the furnace. On supplying the necessary current and voltage, an arc is set up between the two non-consumable carbon electrodes. The electrodes are brought very close to the metal, maintained a small distance, and then an arc is released. The charge melts by radiation from the heat produced by the arc and the conduction from the heat absorbed by the refractory linings. Once the metal melts, this furnace is rotated. This helps the refractory linings to get heated up, and also molten metal exposed to a larger area of the heat linings. Rocking stirs the molten metal homogeneity. When the liquid metal reaches the desired temperature, the furnace is tilted mechanically and the metal is tapped and ladles are with the help of ladles it is poured into the mold cavity. Cupola furnace. So cupola furnace is a very important and old one. Cupola is a vertical cylindrical shaped furnace. It works on counter current principle. Charged material will be descending downwards, flue gases will be ascending upwards, thereby exchanging of heat between the rising gases, and the descending charge takes place efficiently. Coke lumps are used as the fuel. Limestone is used as flux material. Coke, limestone, and metal charge are charged into the cupola furnace in the same sequence with a definite ratio. Here you can see the complete sketch of the cupola furnace, and the various parts are labeled. So it consists of a cylindrical shell of large height to diameter ratio, supposed to be supported on legs at the bottom. It has two semicircular steel doors hinged at the bottom, and it can be opened and closed when it is required. The inside shell is lined with fire bricks. The entire structure is placed vertical on a rigid concrete base. When the doors are closed and clamped, the furnace bottom is prepared by ramming sand mixed with fire clay on top of the door. Immediately above this, an opening is provided on the circumference of the shell and is called metal hole. A small channel is provided corresponding to the using of steel plate, and refractory material is called as metal spout. Though this spout molten metal is drawn from the furnace, through this spout molten metal is drawn from the furnace. Opposite to the metal spout, another hole is provided in the shell to tap the slag. Slightly above this is the wind box is provided around the shell. Number of holes are provided in the steel shell, so they are wind boxes. These are called tires. The wind box is connected to the blower through which the air is made to enter. The blast of air enters the inside portion of the lined shell radially inwards. This air provides necessary oxygen for combustion process. Far above the wind box, a charging platform is provided to facilitate storing of charges and movement of the operations. Close to the platform, a charging door is provided with hood or spark arresters. This ensures arresting of the spark emanating from the furnace. To facilitate easy operation and reduce projection of furnace above the ground, a pit of 3 to 4 feet is dug below the ground to house the furnace. The height of the coke inside the cupola from the bottom and up to the wind box is referred to as coke bed height. Working. Starting the Cupola. Before starting the cupola, the bottom doors are closed and locked. On the door, sandbed is prepared and the metal spout is closed with a clay slug. Burning wood splinters are dropped from the door and furnaces. Slowly, wood pieces starts burning and some more wooden pieces are dropped. We,